Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom, there was a beautiful castle with tall towers that sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. And in this castle lived a kind-hearted princess with a heart as pure as gold. One day, as the princess was standing on the balcony of her room, she saw a young knight practicing in the courtyard below. He was trying to learn how to fight, but he kept getting his armor all twisted, and his sword kept falling out of his hands. Even though he wasn't very good at fighting, he was very cute, with his cheeks all flushed and his tongue sticking out in concentration. As the princess watched him, she couldn't help but giggle. The young knight heard her giggling, and he looked up to see her watching him. He blushed and waved at her. Then he went back to practicing his fighting moves. But he just ended up tripping over his own feet and landing flat on his face. Seeing that he needed some help, the princess took a deep breath and called out to him, "My, you seem to be having quite a bit of trouble there." She then jumped down from the balcony and walked over to him. "Would you like me to help you?" she asked with a big smile. The young knight looked up at her with wide eyes and nodded shyly. The princess knelt down beside him and helped him get his armor back in order. Then she showed him how to hold his sword properly and gave him some tips on how to fight. The knight was so grateful for her help and promised her that he would never forget it. After a while, the princess had to head back to the castle, but she told the young knight that she would come back tomorrow to help him practice again. As soon as she left, a cute little dragon popped out from behind a tree and roared, "Roar!" The knight was so scared that he dropped his sword and fell backwards. "Oh dear," said the dragon, seeing that he was afraid. "I didn't mean to startle you." The dragon was only a baby, so his roar wasn't very scary. It was more like a kitten trying to look fierce, but failing miserably. The knight managed to calm down a bit and asked the dragon, "Are you lost?" The dragon nodded his head sadly. "I was playing hide and seek with my friends, but I got too distracted chasing butterflies, and now I can't find my way back to them." The knight felt bad for the little dragon, so he decided to help him. "Don't worry," he said. "We'll help you find your friends." So the knight and the dragon set off to find his friends. They walked through a beautiful forest that was filled with sparkling flowers and trees that reached up to the sky like green glowing candles. Suddenly, the dragon started to feel better. He flew up into the air and landed on a branch, saying, "Thank you for helping me, kind sir." He then took off again and disappeared into the distance. The knight looked around and realized that he had no idea where they had been or where the dragon had gone. Feeling a bit scared, he started to walk back towards the castle, hoping that someone there could help him. But suddenly, the trees started to part and a beautiful clearing appeared before him. And in the middle of the clearing was the most magnificent sight he had ever seen. It was the dragon and all of his friends, and they were having a huge party. The dragon had told his friends about the kind knight who had helped him, and they were all gathered here to thank him. The dragon flew down and landed on the ground, nuzzling his friend's face. Then he turned to the knight and bowed his head. "Thank you for your help," he said. "You are truly a hero." Everyone cheered and celebrated, and the knight felt like he was on top of the world. They all had so much fun together, and it was one of the best days of the knight's life. After a while, it was time for the knight to go home. He said goodbye to the dragon and all of his friends, and then he started to walk back towards the castle. As he walked, he couldn't stop smiling. He had made a new friend, a magical dragon, and he couldn't wait to tell the princess all about their adventure. When he arrived back at the castle, he told the princess everything that had happened. She listened intently, and when he finished, she smiled. "That sounds like a wonderful adventure," she said. "I'm so glad you made a friend in the dragon." And that is the story of the shy young knight and the magical dragon, the end. And they all lived happily ever after.